Showstopper 414 here, coming at you with another Trials of War PlanetSide 2 video. So, we will be going over siege defense today. But if defense isn't necessarily your thing and you're more of the attacking type, don't forget to go to my channel and check out the first video of the Trials of War series, Siege Offense. So, now let's get into the video. The first thing you have to do while you're defending may seem obvious, but it is a step that people overlook way too often, and that's falling back to the base you're defending. Well, eventually you're going to have to do it anyway. What I more mean is you want to do it early. You want to give yourself maybe a minute on a capture timer before you fall back to the base you're defending. This will give you time to complete the following steps. So the first step you want to do is set up mines or C4 around the base to slow the enemy advance. It is possible that these could also snag a couple of kills for you and take away some much needed vehicle spawn points too, but mostly it'll just waste enemy time trying to point them out and destroy them, which gives you more times to do other steps. Another step that you need to do is what you can see on the screen right now, is repairing anti-armor and anti-air turrets. These are very important because vehicles are one of the easiest ways to break through enemy lines and destroy your defense before it can even begin. Also, the sooner you can make your enemy spend all their vehicle points, the sooner that you're going to be able to break the siege. So, once you've repaired all your anti-air turrets and your anti-vehicle turrets, you need to start putting them to good use. These fortifications need to be defended heavily, which means get lots of people on, rally around them, get engineers repairing the turrets, and keep them live. Another thing you need to do inside your base is get sunders set up around the base in areas that can be easily defended and have access to important resources. As you'll see later in this gameplay, a teammate of mine has set up a sunder right next to a vehicle terminal, which allows for our forces to easily access some heavy tanks that eventually allow us to break the siege. So today in Trials of War, our real-life counterpart is going to be the Siege of Leningrad. The Siege of Leningrad was a siege by Hitler's Third Reich against the Soviet Union city of Leningrad. It wasn't a true siege in the fact that the Germans didn't have the city completely surrounded, so the Soviets could get food and other resources in. But that creates an even greater parallel between PlanetSide, seeing that you can get resources into your base almost at will. So, once the enemies have broken your first line of defense and got past your turrets, the main thing you need to do is hold the point. The capture point in particular, is what kills your defense. If you lose that, then you need to go get it back. And it's one of the hardest things to do, is especially when your enemy has you boxed into your spawn room and you have to go get that point. While we're on the topic of spawn killing, we might as well cover how to break through it. One of the most effective way to break through a spawn trap is unfortunately meeting it with an almost equally annoying strategy. A max crash is where you spawn lots of maxes and essentially rush their position. And although it's not usually fair in most regards, it gets the job done. So, one of the things you're really going to need to show in these defenses is grit. A lot of times you're going to be charging into very unfavorable scenarios, especially if an enemy has secured a good stronghold in your base. Sometimes attacking those last Sundays can be just a marathon to get, but that just separates the men from the boys. Another great uses for max, besides breaking through your spawn area, is to get through some of these tougher areas that you may encounter on the map. Finally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep your heavy vehicles alive. These heavy vehicles are going to help you push forward against infantry members, and they also provide very good cover, as you just saw a couple seconds ago. Heavy tanks will also be covered in a little later section of this video. Another thing is, because you have the hone turf, you'll be able to access more buildings than the enemy will know about. So, like you see here, I was able to flank on this person around a building that my team mainly controlled. So, finally, once you have the enemy use a lot of their resources, and once their siege is breaking, one of the main things you need to do is get rid of their spawn points. This includes both Sunders and spawn beacons. So, the spawn beacons, always be looking for them. They're a really quick, easy way to get into the battle and can deploy unnecessary troops in. So if you can just take care of them ASAP, it'll help you in the long run. As you're about to see here, me and a teammate about to spawn some heavy Vanguard tanks. These Vanguard tanks will allow us to push forward and take out the Sunders, or allowing the enemies to spawn in and keep the siege alive. While I'm spawning and moving up in my Vanguard, I'd like to talk a little bit about some other parallels between Leningrad and PlanetSide 2. Leningrad was eventually considered a victory for the Soviets, but not necessarily because the Soviets were able to break out and destroy the German attackers. It was considered a victory because the Soviets were able to tie up the German forces from places that they would be better used. This can be translated into PlanetSide when alerts come along. If you're able to take a smaller force and hold up a larger force in a well-fortified base, you'll be taking away that larger force from a place where they should be, allowing your teammates to more easily move throughout the map, attacking and defending other bases. So now that we've covered all that we need to cover, we're going to do a quick review. So first off, once your first base has fallen or you failed your attack, make sure to give yourself plenty of time to fall back. Most importantly, to set up mines and repair turrets. Once you have these set up, watch for quick breaching methods such as vehicle rushes and gal drops. Use your turrets that you've repaired to counter these. Remember to also set your Sunders inside your base up in easily defended locations that also give your troops access to very needed resources like vehicle terminals. Remember, the capture point is the most important point in the whole base, and always have defenders there, along with the other generators around the base that give your team a tactical advantage. Try to remove spawn points like Sunders and spawn beacons as quickly as possible, and once the enemy siege is dwindling, call in the heavy armor to take their tanks. And remember, you don't have to use defense as a way to turtle back and fall back. Remember, defense can be used as a powerful weapon by tying up enemy forces in places that they really shouldn't be. Thank you guys for watching, and be on the lookout for the next video. Showstopper out. Oh, you thought because I said showstopper out that was the end of the video. Nope. This is the time I would like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. But more than that, I'd like to tell you that we're going to expand a little bit on this channel. So right now I've only been bringing you PlanetSide 2 videos, but I'd like to branch out to some other things. Be on the lookout, because pretty soon we're going to bring you some Left 4 Dead 2 stuff, which I'm really excited about. We're going to be having a guest on the show, so that's going to be fun. And we're going to be continuing the Trials of War series. But if there's any games that you guys think I should try out or would like me to do, just leave it in the comments below. Also, any feedback or helpful tips or comments would be very appreciated for a young and growing YouTube channel. Thank you guys, and truly this time, Showstopper out.